So, we've been talking about this cooking show for a while, and it's finally happening, and we are starting with chili. Alright, so we have our whole workspace here. I usually don't lay it all nice out like this when I usually cook, but for the video I'll show you the ingredients. But first we're going to start with cooking our 1 pound of beef. My parents sent us a meat package since we are still in New Mexico and have friends in Albuquerque. We had them overnight ship some frozen meat for us. So thanks Mom and Dad. So tonight we're using my always pan to cook the chili. We do have a pot, but this was already out, so I'm just using it. So right now we are just letting the meat brown, and I always use this meat masher type utensil. It's an essential for most of our meals. And I'm just distributing the heat basically. And we're gonna let this brown. And while we do that, I'm gonna start prepping the veggies. Right, so the veggies that need to be prepped are half of a package of celery and half of a medium to large size onion. So the meat is browned. And I'm gonna go ahead, just put the celery in right away because it takes quite a bit to cook. And then we are gonna start on the onions. Alright, so we are just gonna take off all the gross stuff. And now we're gonna dice the onion. I like to cut it in those slices like that and typically take it in half. So now we are focusing on the seasonings, and we're going to season the beef and celery. So we have chili powder, cumin, paprika, garlic powder, and onion powder. Alright, so it's getting a little steamy in here. We had to turn the fan on. But time for seasoning. First is chili powder. And it's chili, so you obviously want quite a bit of chili powder. And then cumin. Paprika you'll just want to do based on your heat level. I don't like it too spicy. Garlic powder, if I had more garlic powder I would, but this is the last of it. So, wish I could do more. And then onion powder you don't need too much of, because we're going to put onions in it, but still like onion powder. So we are ready for the onions now. So next we're going to do our canned ingredients. I'm choosing to do black beans and dark red kidney beans. You can choose whatever beans that you like, but those are the two that I like in my chili. And then any kind of diced tomatoes. I like the ones with green chili just to add some more texture and flavor to the chili. And we're in New Mexico, the capital of green chilies, right? So we're gonna open these cans, and then the black beans have a pull tab, so they obviously don't have to do this. And then I also like to wash mine, which I know some people don't. I just put water, shake it up a little bit, try and get at the bottom. And then you don't want to drain your tomatoes because the juice is really going to help with the chili. Alright, this is looking good. So I did one 14.5 ounce can of water in here, and then I'm just going to sprinkle in some beef broth You're supposed to measure this, but you just do it to taste. Oop, there's a big chunk in there. Hopefully it's not too beefy. And then we're just gonna stir it in. I like my chili pretty chunky. I don't like it too watery. So I only did 1 can, but if it evaporates or soaks up some, we might do more. Otherwise, I think that this is plenty. So now I'm just gonna keep this closed and let it sit like this for a while to fully cook the beans and let all the flavors mesh together. So check back in a few. So we have been cooking this covered for the last about 20-25 minutes. I ended up adding some more chili powder, cumin, and paprika. I just tasted it and it tastes pretty good, and now we're gonna cook it for about 5 to 10 minutes with the lid off, just to make it a little bit thicker because it's pretty runny from being covered. But since we're in a van and not the house, we can't just leave it on the stove to cook. So if you're cooking in a house, then you want to let the chili basically cook as long as you can, because then everything will kind of mesh together. But so now it's time to let it thicken, so we'll come back in about 5-10 minutes. So we have lived in the van full time for 8 months. We are still on our first propane tank, and we haven't been having any issues yet, so that is very impressive to me. I like to put lots of cheese on mine and then have the saltines on the side. I'm not going to have sour cream tonight, just not feeling it. But if you have not tried the peanut butter sandwich with the chili, I don't eat it with the chili. I have a bite of chili, I have a bite of the peanut butter. But if you haven't tried it, you have to. Just hear me out. So I hope you enjoyed our first cooking with Alix video. I hope that you try the chili. Obviously, make it to your taste. But let me know if you try it and if you like it. And stay tuned for more cooking videos.